Oi oi! What's crack-a-lacking? I can't say that, can I? YouTube, what's going on? Anyway, today we are going to learn about facsimiles. No, it's not facky smiles or facky similimis or fucky wucky, whatever you call it. It's not. It's a facsimile. It's easy to say. Why do so many people get it wrong? What is a facsimile? Let's look up the definition to kick us off. Nice and simple. I also don't know how to spell it. No, I do. I got it right. First time. Sweet. An exact copy, especially of written or printed material. So, let's give an example. The reason I'm doing this is because I've heard quite a few new starters joining the Discord recently. A couple of people, unfortunately, have been scammed by some of the more unscrupulous members of the comic selling community that have deliberately sold, I may add, facsimiles pretending that they're first printings. And a facsimile... Fuck me, I just literally had a go at you lot for saying it wrong and then said it. Anyway, ignore that. I don't have good enough editing skills to delete that out of here, so let's just pretend it didn't happen. Anyway, what has happened is there's been a number of people join the server. There is somebody in the comic community, specifically on Whatnot, that has been selling facsimiles as first printings. They are not. There are no facsimiles within reason that hold value in comparison to a first printing. Exceptions are things like there's a 60s Journey into Mystery 83, the first appearance of Thor, which was reprinted in the 60s. That does hold a fair bit of value, but they're few and far in between. They don't really hold much value. So what we're going to do a little lesson, cover some of the more common mistakes for facsimiles, and show you how to identify them. Easiest way for this is obviously good old Key Collector Comics, which, may I add, again, is invaluable. It's every comic book collector's Bible. You need it. There's no way around it. You can't get around collecting without this. Even if you don't use the pricing, it is the biggest and most comprehensive comic book key issue database in the world. So why would you not really have it? So yeah, anyway. They have just put their prices up though. It used to be like £1.50 a month. Now it's £3.50. You don't have to subscribe, but you can make a lot of money out of these guys, because before I owned Fantasy Row, before I was just doing it hobbyist, I would subscribe to get the alerts from these books on these, because basically what they do, they give you a little ding if there's a media release or something like that. Like say a new film's coming out, say it's Silver Surfer #1 has been turned into a cartoon. You'll know that the moment that leak comes out, and you could buy up all the copies on eBay of the book that it hits, because Key Collector will tell you, and then flip them when all of the other idiots come and buy them, and they're like, you bought it for £3, you sell it for £30, and then an hour later nobody can sell anything because it's crashed. Anyway, moving on. So here, what we're going to do, we're going to look at probably arguably one of the most difficult to identify facsimiles, which is Ultimate Fallout 4, the first appearance of Miles Morales. So this dude here, Ultimate Fallout 4, first appearance of Miles Morales, Spider-Man from alternate reality, distributed in a polybag. Diamond Comic Distributors estimate 65,000 of the first printing was shipped. That's new information. I didn't know that. So it's not low print run, but it is on the lower end of the print run, which is actually quite interesting. Bear with me, just messing up my lights. There we go, that's a bit better. Okay, so this is the first printing here. So that is what that looks like. We'll get that up so we can compare it nice and easy. Then you've got the newsstand. In fact, we're going to expand this, not to just be facsimiles, it's to identify things like newsstands and... Oh, my brain's gone. What's it called? Mark Jewelers inserts, because a lot of you guys won't know the difference with these either. We'll talk about pence, cents, Canadian variants, all of the different ways that a comic book can present itself. So I'm going to get him up. That's a newsstand. We're going to go... Where's the facsimile? Facsimile, there we go. Right, so firstly, we will put this here so we can swap between the first print and the facsimile quickly. Ignore the fact that one of these pictures look darker, because they're not. They're exactly the same. Exactly the same. So having it swap like this, you may see the difference a little bit clearer. Did you see it? Did you see the difference? There's two differences. One is more obvious than the other. So this is the first printing, and if you direct your eyes down here, can you see where my mouse is? This is the barcode on a first print. So notice that there is a gap here, there is text here like that, and the barcode is this shape. That, when you swap it over, keep your eyes there, I'm going to swap it over, bang. The facsimile barcode is no gap towards the edge, it's right at the corner of the comic book, and there is no text, it's just the price up there. The other difference, which is one that a lot of people don't even notice, is the Marvel logo up here is red, whereas if you swap it back to the first printing, it's black. There's no red surround on the logo. That, as far as I'm aware, are the only differences. Now, we're going to get a little bit more confusing on how to identify a newsstand. Oh, actually, sorry, before we go there, what we'll do is I'm going to show you the difference in value between a first printing and a facsimile. So a first printing from 2011 has a key collector high value of $375. Realistically, I mean, you can get up to probably £250, £300 for a really high grade raw. So that's fairly accurate, yeah. And then if we look at the facsimile, can you see? Oh, you can't see that. That's annoying. Wait, hold on. Let's go back to, where's my list? Here we go. So the facsimile here, you can see it there. Can you see the high value is $5? So what a lot of people we've noticed been doing, especially on places like eBay and stuff, and it may be completely genuine and innocent. I doubt it, but you never know. But what we're noticing is a lot of people fanning out books. So they're getting let me just grab a bunch of comics. So they are getting a load of books. They're going like that to display them. And you'll get the corner, or they'll probably do it that way actually. So you see the right hand side, because the right hand side of a facsimile is no different to the first printing. They'll slip a facsimile Fallout 4 in there so you can just see that side of it. And that side of it looks absolutely no different to the first print. They'll be like £1 start, found a box of comics, and then they're expecting you to be like, oh, this dickhead doesn't know what he's on about. I'm going to buy this, I'm going to flip it for £300. So you put your fucking life savings in it, you sell your house, you tell your wife no, don't tell your wife anything, just don't do it. And yeah, then basically you get a facsimile, you've been dumped, you've probably got gonorrhea, and you've got no house. It's a losing situation, don't fall for it. Yeah, now newsstands. This is where we get a little bit more confusing and a little bit more, well, I guess interesting. So if we go back up to the top here, we'll go to the first printing. So the first printing, boom, get rid of that, get rid of that. We open up a newsstand. Can you see, this is going to be even more difficult to see difference. Can you see, other than the fact that they have different size pictures, which it is the same size comic book, I promise you. Can you see the difference? Again, it's the barcode. So if you look down here, it says direct edition. It might be a little bit too small for you to see on the video, but at the top of the barcode, there's a gap. It says marvel.com, and then it says direct edition. The newsstand variant literally says newsstand. There's a larger gap. It says newsstand. What a newsstand is and what a direct issue is. So we'll start with direct issue. Direct issues are comic books that have been ordered in from the distributors, from the printers, as per customer orders. So if a comic book shop orders 200 books, 200 of Ultimate Fallout 4 when it first released, they would all be direct editions. Newsstand variants, or the variants that are initially, and this is where unsurprisingly it gets its name from, they were sold in the US at newsstands, like sidewalk newsstands. You know, the sort of thing you see in films. Obviously we're English, but you walk across, I guess we do get them in London and stuff like that, but they're like little pods and stuff with rackings for shelves and like magazines and stuff. They are ones that they will order, and then they will just sell them on there, and if they don't sell them, they ended up getting torn and destroyed. So newsstands were literally sold at newsstands. That is as simple as it is. Newsstands started in 1979. Obviously that doesn't apply to Ultimate Fallout because that was 2011, I think. But yeah, so newsstands started in 1979. In 1979, newsstands were more common than direct. So if you got a direct in 1979, it's actually rarer than a newsstand. As time progressed and we moved into a different way of ordering, because back then most of the shit that you bought would be from a newsstand. Now, In a modern day, almost everyone has pull lists with their local comic book stores, or they order from, dare I say it, Forbidden Planet, the industry killer, and, you know, wherever else. You're ordering in directly, they're ordering from distributors, they already know how many they're selling to printing, so they're all coming in as direct. Newsstands are now exceptionally rare. So, for example, we saw that the Key Collector high value for a first printing Ultimate Fallout 4 was $375. The newsstand is $2,000. Let's see, here we go. Newsstand print runs account for approximately 1 to 3% of the 74,000 direct market orders for the Ultimate Fallout 4. Newsstand editions are notoriously difficult to find in high grade. Distribution, display and browsing habits are very different from direct market systems, because as you can imagine, on newsstand people will be thumbing through them, they're constantly touching them. And another reason why specifically Ultimate Fallout 4 is difficult to find in a high grade is because it was polybagged. Polybags, most people think, oh, if I leave it in here, when I eventually take it out, I'm going to get a 9.8 because nobody's touched the book. No, mate, you're a fucking moron. What that means is you're going to ruin the inside of your book on the back cover, because where the polybag closes over the back, there's a seal. That seal is pressed against that book, and every time it wiggles, it rubs against the back. It is called the polybag rub. Polybag rub is generally unfixable. I don't know how to explain it. So, if you imagine on the back where the seal is, it's not just a straight bit of poly. It's one bit of plastic over another bit of plastic, which creates a ridge. So that generally imprints on the back of the book if you leave it in there too long, and it can also rub the ink off. So if you have a polybagged book, take it out of the polybag if you're planning on keeping it mint condition. There are exceptions to this. There are always exceptions to everything. But generally, polybagged books are bad news. You take them out and you keep them in. When you grade a polybagged book, CGC take it out of the polybag anyway. No graders should keep it in the bag, because if you grade a polybagged book a 9.8, it's moving inside that cage. It's moving inside, though, as some people call them, the plastic crypts. Every time it shakes. I don't know if you know how CGC books or encapsulation works, but there's an inner sleeve, an inner well inside the plastic casing, and the book isn't locked in place. It can wiggle, it can move. If you shake a CGC slab, it can move very slightly. Every time that happens, the book inside it is going to be degrading. So the person that graded it with a polybag at a 9.8 in 5 years, that's probably a 9.4, but it's still got a 9.8. So no one will grade, or no one should grade it with a polybag. So that is direct, newsstand, and facsimile. They are the main things you want to look out for. The other ones, which are quite difficult to work out whether they're a facsimile or a first printing. This has decided to freeze. Let's just go back here. An obvious one as well is amazing. Let me just swap it to issue. If you don't know how to use Key Collector, get very, very used to it, because you will be using it a lot. Amazing Spider-Man 300, everybody's favourite. This is first appearance of Venom. No, a Key Collector high value of $600, yeah? Lovely, lovely book. Probably one of my favourite covers. Iconic Todd McFarlane artwork. Stunning. So, the newsstand, there you go, is $800. So, you can see it was 1988. So, that's what, 9 years after Newsstand came out. It's past the midpoint where newsstand was more common. It's becoming more rare, which is why the difference between a newsstand and direct is minimal on this one. So $600 for the direct, and the direct, I didn't explain how to identify direct, did I? This in the UPC box down here usually has an image. Doesn't have to be a Spider-Man face, all sorts of different images. Some of them you can even use as a flip book in certain series, which is quite cool. I think there's a flip book in the Incredible Hulk run, which you line them all up and you flick like that, and the UPC box waves and does all sorts of shit. But yeah, so that one is $600, and then the newsstand is $800. And then the reprint, so a reprint it's not a facsimile because it will have differences. A facsimile is an exact reprint, although they do have slight differences, so that's not entirely correct. Right, there we go, facsimile. So we load up the image for that, we load up the image for that, and we load up the image for that. Bang, bang, and not bang. Bang, bang, and bang. Right, so this is the facsimile. this actually isn't as difficult to identify as the other one. So the direct, if you got that right, well done. Not that you were probably guessing. So direct with the picture and UPC box. Newsstand with a barcode in the box. Barcodes are the key element of newsstands. Modern direct also have barcodes, but in the probably from 79 to at least early 90s, only newsstands had barcodes. Barcodes on directs are a modern thing because everybody has the point of sale, they can scan it in, blah blah blah. That wasn't a thing back then. So the facsimile. Oh shit, another thing I didn't mention was the price. Always check the price, because as you can see on the facsimile, even if that didn't have the really obvious barcode there, which is clearly a modern barcode, $6.99 facsimile pricing. The modern was $1. Sorry, the original, not the modern. The original was $1.50, $1.50 on the direct and the facsimile. So that's, I guess that's not that difficult. I'll tell you what we'll do. What are actually? Let's chat GPT this thing. Here you go. What are the most? Which? I should have worked this out before I did a video. Really, which comic books are the hardest to differentiate between a first printing and a facsimile? For example, Ultimate Fallout 4. I don't know why I added that. I should have left that bit out. Great question. This is okay, here we go. We're going to do a voice. Great question. This is a real pain point for collectors and dealers alike. Several comic books have facsimile editions that look nearly identical. To that, no, that's too much effort. Anyway, blah blah blah. Ultimate Fallout 4. Like I said, fuck you. I did that. Hulk 181. Okay, good old chat GPT. That's a good job. That one. That's a very good. Hulk 181. First Wolverine, or Hulk, apparently. So the first printing from 1974 is worth $11,000 in a key collector high value. Like, wow, yeah. I mean, it kind of obviously is the first appearance of Wolvie. Then let's find the facsimile. So you're the facsimile. You're the normal. So I don't know about this one. I think this is kind of okay. That's obvious. Come on. If you can't tell the difference between that and that, then you probably deserve to get scammed. The original doesn't have a fucking barcode because I mean it's from 1974. Of course it wouldn't have a barcode. So no barcode at all. 25-cent pricing, $3.99 pricing on the facsimile, and a big fuck off barcode. So ChatGPT, you're a knob. Amazing Fantasy 15. Oh come on. That's okay. Scrap fact. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to a different thing. I've shown you how to do that. Generally, the differences will be the barcode and it will be the pricing. One of those two things will be different. So just make sure you do your due diligence and just don't be a dick. Really, make sure you're not a knob. Then you know you're sorted. Two other ones that are worthwhile looking out for. One of them is a Whitman variant, and this is one of the most overlooked valuable variants that you can find. So I think they probably not Whitman. Worthy Whitmans, they do have a category. Good old key collector. Okay, hang on a minute. Oh, I don't know what my bollocks, hang on. There we go. Hey, now everyone knows my personal email. I'm gonna get flooded with porn. Good idea, right? No, don't do that. Anyway, let's go to category. Whitman. Worthy Whitmans. Lovely. As we just found that. There was no... Yeah. So let's find a valuable one. Right, so we've got Whitman here. Addams Family 1 from 1974. I will explain what a Whitman is. I'm just trying to see what the... Oh, okay, that was only a Whitman. Okay, never mind. Scrap that. We're going to find a... Here we go. Here's a good one. No, that's not a good one at all. What we might have to do, because this isn't listing them all in the same place to see the comparison. If I do... Come on. Star Wars 1, 1977. So that is a terrible example because the Whitman is the same price. Okay. Oh, here we go. There's a good one. Batman 313, Whitman from 1979. Right, so that is a key collector high value of $220. I'm going to swap this for Star Wars because Star Wars let me down. I mean, Captain Spock on his Death Star. Yeah, Chewbacca when he fought, you know, the cyborg battleship thing. Oh, I love it. Anyway, now that I've triggered two fandoms, we have got Batman 313, 1979. Exactly the same book. We've got them both here. So, $125. Batman and Catwoman's first official date and romantic kiss. Oh. First appearance of Tim Fox, the son of Lucius Fox and the next Batman. Cool, great. Don't really care. Batman's a sweaty gimp. Batman 313 Whitman. Can you see the difference? It's actually quite obvious on this one. They usually are with Whitmans, but people just don't notice. So, the difference here, up here in the DC logo, it's not always the same. With Marvel, generally it's just a white diamond rather than this. But the DC Whitmans are quite easy to identify. So if you look in the same spot on this one, there is literally a dude with a W for a head. That is a Whitman variant. That is much rarer than, so does this say anything? Whitman edition, identified by the Whitman logo in the corner box, distributed in 3 packs that included 311 and 312. So that was the only way to get this comic in that variant, which obviously makes it a lot rarer. So again, keep an eye out for that. I'll show you what the Marvel version of this is, if I can find one. There you go, Micronauts. Can you see up there, that diamond? I'll show you what the standard Micronauts one looks like. Definitely keep an eye out for your books. So that is the standard. It's got that bubble, 35 cents. That is the diamond. It's got the bubble with a diamond inside it. The UPC boxes are very often blank on Whitman variants as well. So another giveaway. So what I would recommend is sorting through your books, just having a quick gander, having a look in the top corner or wherever the pricing is. Generally with Whitmans it's top left. And pull them out, check them. Not all Whitmans are valuable, but many of them are really valuable. There are some that are like £5 books that are worth in the hundreds if you catch a valuable Whitman. I wish we could search in order of value. There's a good one, there you go. New Adventures of Superboy 6. That's a very, very common book worth about £3 in a standard. In a Whitman, that is $300, which, I mean, it probably realistically equates to about £220 in the UK. But do you know what I mean? Like, it's something that anyone could have and just have absolutely no idea that they've got something really, really incredibly rare there. That's annoying. I did this last time I did one of these videos and realised I fucked up. I sold this, the Black Hole, number 4 Whitman. I genuinely sold this for a £5 about a month ago. Didn't even look it up. Why? Don't be a dickhead. Yeah, that's fuck's sake. Yeah, okay. That's thrown me off. Fucking fantastic. The other one to look out for is Mark Jeweller's inserts. Mark Jeweller's inserts are literally what they sound like. Mark Jeweller's inserts was a jeweller's, surprisingly enough, that was located within a military, not within, but near a military base in a specific area in America. I will double check this and we'll look this up. We'll do it together, you know, friendly style, yeah. Family outing to the Googles. Anyway. Forgotten what I'm talking about. Mark Jeweller's. Mark Jeweller's was Jeweller's near a military compound in the States. And it was an insert that was put into distribution near that army base. And only about 5% of the print run held these Mark Jeweller's books. Something that nobody tells you, and I wish I had a book nearby. In fact, I'm going to have a really quick scan of this box here. So there's going to be a weird little pause in this video. Actually, there's not. I'm just going to carry on talking as I do it. But I'm going to have a quick scan. I think it's quite unlikely that I'm going to be able to find one. But something that people don't tell you is that Mark Jeweller's inserts are very much visible from a top-down view. So if you look down on a bunch of books from the relevant age, down at their spine in the middle, you can almost always see if there's something there, because the Mark Jewellers inserts are very commonly thick blue cardboard, so it is really easy to be able to spot them. So for example, it doesn't look like there are any in this handful here. It would be quite unusual to be able to just dip in and find them like that. It would be good if we found one though, because for the sake of the video it'd be really good to give an example. What I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly grab another box of older books. No, unfortunately not, but when I do another video, when I find one, because I have found a fair few, I actually bought a collection of over 40 Mark Jewellers inserts. So the person turned up, they actually live near the military base. So it's pure luck. Let me see if there is a category for this as well. Mark Jewellers, sweet, there's a category for everything. So we've got, what's a good one? There you go, Incredible Hulk Mark Jewellers. One of the things with Mark Jewellers is they're even rarer to find in a high grade, because obviously the insert can damage and dent the book easier than ones without it. Oh, there you go, exactly. Oh, it says it on all of it. I'm so good at this. Check me out, my knowledge. I was making this all. No, I'm joking. So, 4-page interior Mark Jewellers advertisement, printed on paper stock and bound to the centerfold. Distributed to stores near military bases or on site. I actually thought it was just one military base. I didn't know that it was multiple military bases, so we learned something together there. High five. Fuck you. Approximately only 5% of the print run included these in advertisements. This is one of my favourite books. I didn't know you could get that. It's just beautiful, iconic, original artwork. Lovely. Lovely. Yeah, I don't know why I'm out of breath. I've been sat in a chair talking. Anyway. So they are, as you can tell, if it's only 5% of the print run, exceptionally sought after for completionists and collectors alike, because they're rare. So if you get a high grade, say for example you've got a 9.8 Incredible Hulk 340. I don't actually know what a 9.8 340 is worth, but say a standard is worth £1,000. A 9.8 Mark Jewellers would be worth about £8,000. It's a big deal. Finding a Mark Jewellers, even in an inconsequential book, you should keep it, because if you find the right person, they will pay a lot of money for that. I know people that are trying to find all of every variant of the specific run they collect. So say they collect Avengers from issue 1, 1962 or whatever it is. They will get all of the newsstand variants, all of the direct variants, and then the hardest ones will be the Whitmans and the fucking Mark Jewellers. So if you've got one of them and someone is crazy enough to do that in the first place, they're definitely crazy enough to pay you a good price for it. So keep an eye out for it. What we can do with the modern marvels of technology is show you what they look like, because I didn't even think about this. Every time I try and think of it, it just goes out of my head. Mark Jewellers. Mark Jewellers insert. Go to images. Okay, there you go. Simple as that. So that is the blue cardboard one. That's usually that's most common. I haven't ever seen a red one. But I wonder. There you go. There's a perfect view of what I was talking about. I wonder if we click on this, it's going to take us to a page and we've got to search for it. Ah, fucker, it has. So, let me see if I can zoom in on that. Can you see what I mean with a top-down view? So, if you... Oh, I've got some Marvel 2. Nah, fuck it, we've looked. It's not there. So, if you look down on the top of your book like that, exactly like I said, they are visible. People think, you've got to go through every book and every cover, blah, blah, blah. You don't. The only time you've got to do that, which is another one, which we'll touch on, but we won't go into too much detail, is if you've got a double cover. Double covers, you can't generally tell from the top. Double covers are a printing error, whereas literally a second top cover underneath the first. So you can open it, bam, same thing there. If you send a double cover for grading, you get 2 CGC grades. They grade both covers. The cover that has the highest grade will go in the big white square. There'll be a smaller one next to it with a second grade. I should have done more preparation, because I have a First Mystique double cover, which is Miss Marvel, I can never remember if it's 16 or 18, but whichever one it is, and it got an 8.5 on the external cover, and a 7.5, no, sorry, 8.5 on the internal cover, and 7.5 on the external cover, and they listed the 8.5 as the graded slab. That is worth like I think it's, as a general rule, it's between 20 to 70%, so it's quite large. More depending on the rarity of the book and how frequently the misprint has occurred. So that's a lot to take in today. I've given you a lot of different things to probably throw you into mindless panic. But yeah, so to recap, Facsimiles, bad. Direct, standard, good. Newsstands, great, unless it's from 1979. Mark Jewelers, always amazing. Whitman, could be great. So yeah, keep your eye out. Come back for more tips and more. I mean, this is, I didn't even say what this was. Oh, I'm not good at this YouTube business. This is Collecting for Beginners, episode, I want to say 3? Might be 3. Probably 3. Could be 3, might be 4. Fairly sure I've done 2. At least 3. We'll go with that. Yeah. Oh, fuck my life. Cool. Laters. See you at whatnot in about half an hour from the time I'm recording this video.